Welcome to Undercomplicating Stuff, where we, two psychologists and coaches with over 40 years of combined experience, share our insights to help undercomplicate important topics. A friendly reminder that this video is meant for conversational and entertainment purposes only. Please see the information section of this video for additional resources. So I am Dr. Julie Radico. I am a psychologist, a coach, an author, and a speaker. Dr. Gedeon.
Thanks, Julie. I'm Stacey Gedeon. I'm a health psychologist and the founder and CEO of a healthcare consulting and professional coaching business. And today's topic is about anxiety and specifically panic attacks. And so when you and I received this question, we were joking about, are you really having a panic attack? Is that really what's going on? It's one of these things that tends to be kind of everywhere. And we thought it'd be helpful today to kind of break it down and talk about the differences between typical anxiety, which we all have, and panic attacks and even panic disorder. So, just to level set, our stress response or our anxiety is there to help us survive. Back in the cave people days, if a tiger or a lion was chasing you, you wanted to be able to react and react very quickly without thinking very much. And we refer to that as the fight, flight, or freeze. And if you ever see a baby deer, this happened in our backyard. Baby deer was there, its mom went away, and it just stayed there, very quiet. So that was its reaction to feeling threatened. At other times, we may feel like we need to flee a situation, or we may feel like we need to really confront something. And that's something that we all have. And that's very, very different from a panic attack. And so I'm hoping that you can kind of help us understand a little bit more about what is required for an actual panic attack.
I love this question and the fact that we tend to say, oh, I'm having a panic attack when we might be experiencing high levels of anxiety, but maybe we're not actually meeting jargon, full criteria for a panic attack. So I have here a handy dandy pocket sized version of the DSM-5 TR in which I'm going to read through the symptoms of panic attack. And so you need to have an abrupt surge of fear and like an intense feeling of fear or discomfort that reaches a peak within minutes. And that time, like during that intense surge of fear or discomfort, you're also having overlapping symptoms, four or more of the 13 that I'm going to read through here. So those might include palpitations, pounding heart, accelerated heart rate, sweating, trembling or shaking, sensations of shortness of breath or smothering, feelings of choking, chest pain or discomfort, nausea or abdominal distress, feeling dizzy, unsteady, lightheaded, or faint, chills or heat sensations, paresthesias like numbness or tingling sensations. And I use my fingers because sometimes you might feel that numbness in your extremities. Derealization, so feeling of unreality, or depersonalization, like being detached from yourself, fear of losing control or going crazy, or fear of dying. How does somebody know if they're having a panic attack versus having panic disorder?
Such an important distinction because you can have panic attacks and yet not meet the handy dandy DSM-5 TR criteria for a panic disorder. So, in addition, experience of a panic attack to meet criteria for an actual disorder, you need to have experienced for a month or longer following at least one of the panic attacks, either a persistent concern or worry about having another one, or the consequences. You're fearing that you're having a heart attack. I've worked with a lot of people where they have panic attacks and they're not infrequent, but they really don't worry about them. Or you could significantly change your life in a way where you're trying to work everything around not having a panic attack. And it has to be disruptive. There are lots of us who will not want to go to Black Friday shopping at a major mall or something along those lines. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking that your life significantly changes in order to avoid what you think might be a panic attack. The other thing for all of the criteria or disorders in the DSM is it has to interfere with your functioning significantly in some way. That could mean relationships, your ability to work, other health behaviors. And the symptoms can't be only due to a medical condition. And that's not to say you can't also have a medical condition and panic disorder, but it's not attributed to that, nor are the symptoms attributed to substances. And we all probably know people that really enjoy energy drinks. And there's a lot more information coming out about kind of actually some of the pretty scary dangers of that. But a lot of caffeine can make one feel like they're having a panic attack. Also, nicotine products and other illicit substances can certainly come up that would mimic a panic attack, but is not considered a panic attack.
So there's so many stipulations between being diagnosed with a panic attack or a panic disorder or just having some physical feelings of anxiety that are coming up. One of the things that I feel like I've heard a ton from people over the years when they say to me, yeah, I have panic attacks and they last for like 5 hours or they lasted 3 days. So when we look at the criteria and why we're talking about this in part is you can have residual effects of anxiety that like hang over from a panic attack. But that true panic attack is lasting minutes, maybe like 5 to 20-ish in a rough ballpark. But like if we look at that DSM criteria, it's saying like within minutes, you're hitting this peak of overlapping. Maybe your heart is pounding, you're short of breath, you're sweaty, you're, like feeling outside of your body, you're worried that you might be having a heart attack. Like all these things are happening at one time and they're culminating in this like big rush of this kind of like fight or flight. Your system's kicking on to try to keep you safe and run away from that tiger in minutes. So if you feel like you're having a panic attack, check in with how long you think those symptoms are really lasting. And in the way of taking some of that power back, your body is helping you, even if it's a panic attack and it feels awful. It's doing something good for you. It's trying to help you run away or fight, keep you safe. It also can't keep that intensity up for a really long time. So coach yourself over the fact that, oh, my body really is trying to help me and heightening these feelings that feel awful, like, but heightening those in that moment. And then I might be keeping those feelings going by my continued worry or my continued focus on the symptoms or like so and this is very kindly not to say it's all in your head. Like we experience symptoms of anxiety, we experience symptoms of like residual effects of panic and that like that's valid. Knowing that your body's doing a healthy thing when it goes into full panic, letting it do that for you and knowing that it can't last hours to days to, and if there really is, if you're like Julie, Stacey, no, all 13 of these things you said, they're all happening, they haven't stopped happening, and they're going on for a really long time, go seek medical attention. That is, there's so many humans on the planet that there are unique things that happen. There's space that we can make for that for sure. Go seek medical attention. But in general, trust that your body knows what it's doing for you. And to shift us into some of the recommendations of, well, what do I do if I am having a panic attack or I think I have panic disorder? I am just worrying about having future panic attacks and I can't get out of this. One of the evidence-based things to do is nothing, like absolutely nothing, because your body is responding in a way that's healthy and just trusting that you can ride it out. Like your body is kicking on that system because it thinks there's a tiger coming to eat you. It's trying to keep you safe. And if you can look around your space and go, I don't know, I'm pretty okay right now. There's no tiger. There's no real threat that I need to get up and run away from. I am safe in where I am at. Then trust that and let your body do what it needs to do. Let it run through the panic symptoms and let them like kind of reduce on their own and come back to, okay, that was no fun, but I'm glad my body did what it needed to do, and now I'm okay.
There are also some other strategies that can help with shortening or managing a panic attack. One of my favorites is if you take a Sour Patch Kid or whatever version of Sour Patch and you put that in your mouth, all of a sudden now your brain is focused on that Sour Patch Kid and it can kind of short circuit everything else going on. And it's something that's pretty discreet. People don't really have to know you're doing that. And you can have a Sour Patch Kid in your pocket and it can be helpful. Or peppermint, something really minty, like a strong mint, like an Altoid, something like that. And things like limiting caffeine or limiting other things that might trigger symptoms that mimic anxiety can also be really, really helpful.
I think another strategy is to send the signals back to your brain that you are safe by slowing your breath. So if you are needing to run away from a tiger, a bear, like your body is going to be making you breathe pretty quickly, kicking on the system. And if you want to send the signal back, okay, we're okay. Slow your breathing by taking slow inhales through your nose. Try to move the air deep to like your belly and then slowly breathe out through your mouth. Doing that repeatedly in a way that feels safe, comfortable, like there's all types of deep breathing out there, y'all. So if you want to do box breathing, which is like 4, 4, 4, 4, which is like breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. Great. If you want to do 4, 6, 8 or 4, 7, 8, like there's so many versions of this where you're breathing in for a period of time, you're holding the breath for a period of time, and then you're slowly letting it out. Find what works for you, do what feels comfortable, whatever that might look like. Slowing your breath can send the signal back to your brain. Oh, wait, you're actively trying to get me not to make us breathe quickly. I'm guessing I don't need to run away from a tiger, a bear right now. Like, okay. So that's another strategy to have in your pocket that can help in so many ways.
That's a great explanation of the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight, flight, and freeze, and the parasympathetic, which is the quieting and calming. So I love that description. Another strategy that a lot of people have heard of is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that grounding strategy. And this works. And again, it's something that you don't need special equipment. You can do anywhere, anytime. Nobody has to know you're doing it. And it doesn't even really matter what order or what sense you use, except for the fact that it is probably easier to find 5 things you can see than to name 5 things you can taste. So I usually use that as the one. So again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you go through your senses. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And you'll be amazed at what happens because, again, you're focusing on your surroundings. You're grounding yourself in the present moment versus when we're anxious, particularly a panic attack, it's even hard to think and make good decisions.
My key takeaway from our discussion today is ride it out. So, one, be armed with good information about what really is a panic attack in the way that it like can help you. It's reassuring. If you're like, oh, my heart's racing, but I don't have any of the other symptoms they talked about, like I might be feeling a little bit anxious, but I'm okay. And again, if you feel like you're not okay, go to the emergency room or seek medical attention, like do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Having that information to know that maybe I'm okay because I don't meet all the criteria of the diagnosis for a panic attack or panic disorder, that can be reassuring. Also, if you do experience any of those symptoms, just ride it out if you can. Like, coach yourself. This is normal. This is what my body is supposed to be doing, and let it do that. It's trying to keep you safe. And if you are like, Julie, that's great. This feels awful. I can't write it out. I need to do something. Then we've armed you, hopefully, with some strategies like the deep breathing, the grounding, like things to take care of yourself. So ultimately, you can hopefully get to this place where the panic symptoms come less and less. And you know that like if you're in a situation where you're like, I can't do any of these strategies right now, not even the grounding, then you know your body's going to work its way through it and hopefully you will be okay. Like panic is a normal thing that your body's doing to help keep you safe.
If these symptoms are persistent and you're feeling this very, very heightened anxiety or other symptoms that we didn't mention, please see your doctor and make sure there isn't something else going on. Some people will say, well, I don't want to do that. I'm so embarrassed. Providers would rather have you go and get it checked out, and they won't judge you, and they'll be able to give you some information so then you can take care of whatever symptoms are you're having and then not mistreat or misdiagnose or not treat another major medical thing that might be going on.
If this topic resonated with you, please share it with somebody that you care about. Also, please comment, like, and subscribe. You can message us on our LinkedIn or our YouTube page with any suggestions or questions that you'd like us to discuss in future episodes.